Hey guys and gals, Froggy here. This is a speaker cover for my 2004 C5 Z06 Corvette, and I'm going to show you how to install that on the door. It goes right there, and you can see my left knee has rearranged the original speaker, and I kind of knew that was going to happen right when I bought the car a few years ago, so I went out and bought that replacement one. I just had it on my shelf. So now we're going to take this door panel off, or door skin, whatever you guys want to call it, and you have to take it off to install it. I don't think it's going to be too big a deal. Let's go. Froggy likes to start around this corner here, this curve on the door. What you're doing is you're pulling the panel away from these little plastic snap pop fasteners that hold it on there. You got to break loose about, see, there's another one down there. There's probably 8 of them. I don't know, I'll show you when I get them out. And you do it from the bottom, because the top has a lip that curves over and tucks in there where the window goes, so you can't do it at the top. You got to do it at the bottom, and then you're going to lift this up. Okay, Froggy's going to back up, you guys and gals. So remember, Froggy doesn't make these videos perfect. I just show you what I do. So before you start pulling at this corner, you want to take this bezel off. There's a little plastic cover here, and you're going to take this. You're going to pop this up too. Start popping it with a tool like this, or they have some screwdrivers. It looks like a screwdriver with a little notch on the end. Use your fingers if you can, because your fingers are less likely to break the plastic than these tools. But pry under here, and pry under here, and this really should just come off with your fingernail. Very easy. You'll hear little sharp snaps, and you'll think, oh heck, I broke something, but it's just the way the plastic pops apart with a little sharp snap. See that hole there fits over that piece there that you can see. So that's, just use your fingers if you can. Just maybe get one of them started. Get this one started right here. See, that one's like a little bit different. A little bit easier, I think, to start with. So pop that off. If you broke any of this stuff, you might need to replace this whole piece, or you might get by with one of these being broken and the rest of them okay. This one I already popped off with my fingers, easy peasy. Let's get this one off here. On this control panel here, on a 2004, you want to start at the back. Some of these other videos you see for other years of Corvettes are going to say to pry it at the front. Don't do that on a 2004 or maybe some other years, because you can see there's like a latch that goes underneath a piece here. You're not going to be able to break that loose. This is where it's designed to come loose, right here. So you can see I did a little damage there. I'll be able to glue it back together, I think. So I'm warning you guys and gals, different years come apart in different ways. So this was the same, that was the same, this was different. Okay, so we got those 3 parts out. Now there's a couple of torques here. Trying to show you with my finger there. There's a torques there and a torques there. And it's a T30, so let's get those off. So you can see what I did there. So I'm going to put some 2-part plastic epoxy on there right now before I continue with the job, and then that should probably be ready when I go to put it back together. Okay, just mix that up. Put it on with a screwdriver or a stick. And just mixing it up with a screwdriver, and I'm going to apply it with that same little screwdriver and clean off the screwdriver. And I put a little clamp on it to close up the gap there. So it sets up in 15 minutes, good to go in 30 minutes. Dries black, I don't care, it's going to be hidden. Okay? There's one of your Torx screws. Okay? Coming out of here. And I guess if you drop one of these down in there when you're coming apart, it doesn't really matter because you'll find it when you get this off. When you're going back together, be careful you don't drop them down there. It's kind of tricky. So now we're back to where I started by mistake. I jumped the gun a little bit. Now we're pulling this panel off all the way around. Should be coming off pretty easy. Then lift up, and then if there's any, there might be wires connected to this, and you're gonna have to watch and disconnect wires when you get this loose. And what do you know, actually, no wires. So it's off. And there's the back side. Oh, it's not very well lit. Let me get a light on it. There you go. There's the back side of the speaker. And I'm going to take it over on the desk. You can see where those little flaps go. And you can also see this got a little plastic frame that kind of shapes or forms or supports the speaker mesh. And little pieces were falling out there where mine got broke when the front was damaged. So I'll probably glue a few of those back in before I put it back together. Use that same black plastic epoxy. Okay, now I'm going to take lunch. So before I go get my Diet Coke and whatever I can find for lunch, this is going to be really easy to put that new one on there, as you can see. Okay, back in a little bit. I epoxied a few of those broken pieces in there and put some tape to hold them in correct position while it dries. Okay, so I've glued about as many pieces, not glue, epoxy, two-part epoxy. And I don't want to rush it. I want to give that stuff a good, maybe an hour or more. So I'm going to put this job aside and finish it tomorrow probably, or on the weekend. And I've got some rims I've got to clean up because I'm selling these rims. So yeah, there's some rims I'm going to clean up. But I will get back to this. This is finish this up because I want to show you how nice it's going to look. I think compared to the beginning, it's going to come out pretty nice. So I'll be back. Okay, let's get back to this. Froggy's going to peel off the tape that I used, just regular old packing tape, and I used that to hold the parts in place as the two-part epoxy was setting up. So it should just peel off and leave the epoxy underneath. I'm going to use two hands here. Yeah, okay, well that peeled off a little better than I expected actually. So, remember, this is not a work of art, it's not a bridge, it's just some backup to mend these parts of the speaker surround that came apart when I put my knee through it. Okay, so here's a new one, and it's just these little tab things that go through the slots, and I'll get them all going through and then bend them on the other side. I think it's looking pretty nice. To pop this in, just work around in a circle, and because like every one of them's got to be in at the same moment, so that's hard to do. So you just kind of work around in a circle, and you get them all in there. So here's the other side. Flipped it over. I put a couple of towels under there to cushion it because I'm going to push down a little bit to get these tabs to come through, and then maybe I'll pull on them a little bit with pliers to make sure they're all the way through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. that's about it. I'm not going to go through step by step putting it back together. You guys and gals just look at the way it came apart, and then I will give you one final shot of how it looks once I get it all on. Alright, I will give you one little tip here going back together. There's 3 metal clips. 1, 2, 3. Those metal clips have to clip over this metal lip here. If I can get focus. Yeah. See? You can see a spot right there where my finger's just pointing out where the metal clip went. There's another spot there, and there's another spot there. So just line those up, and then you're going to just press it down, pop it down, and then make sure your wire comes through, and then you're going to make sure all those other little white plastic poppet fasteners line up, and then you're going to push on them. So just shove the whole thing towards the window. The window has to be up, obviously, and it doesn't go in hard. It just kind of falls in pretty easy, actually. Now, before I start popping all those white fasteners, which are very hard to get loose, kind of hard to get loose, I would get these 2 screws started first here. Remember those right there? Because remember I told you if you drop them down in there and this thing is all fastened up, you're going to have to open it up to get at them. So get those started first. You don't have to screw them in all the way, but get them started so you know that you're not going to drop them down in there. So if you're smart and you watch the whole video before you start the job, you're going to see this. This is a tip on how to undo it. Let me get some focus. There, you see that hole right in the middle of the screen there? That hole goes over that little tip right there. So when you're taking it apart, you've got to get your tool, like a screwdriver, a very small screwdriver, and come in on an angle and get between those 2 things. You don't go straight over the top and press down because that makes it tighter. There's my focus. Thank you, automatic focus. It just took you a little while. Anyway, let me back up a little bit. I'm going to put that between my knees, and I'm going to show you what I mean. There. So, you don't go over the top and press down to release this. You got to go in between, right there. See, in between this and that. So it's tricky. I admit it, it's tricky, and that's all. The best I can do is I'm showing it to you apart so that you can plan your attack on how to remove it. And a lot of fasteners are like that. So file that in your filing system in your brain for taking apart other trim pieces. You got to kind of get in between. It's not the obvious way that you think it might come apart. Okay? Now snapping it on should be easy. And remember, on this particular 04 door surround, that front one right there will be the easiest ones because the little latches are small. And so get that one first to get started. Then go for this top one, and then once you get those 2, the rest should just come out using your fingers. Okay? Okay, here's the other one. This has got all the door controls on it. Remember, this is an 04, and your early model might be different. Your early C5 might be different than this. I think it probably is. This is the easy release at the back. Yeah, that's at the back. It goes in like that. So that's what comes apart first. And do not try to pry there like I did because I cracked it a little bit. I fixed it. Okay? Okay, so there it's done. I used a little of that 303 vinyl and leather cleaner, conditioner, which some people rave about. I think it's not bad. I will give you one warning about 303 though. I used it on my z06, which had a nice automotive leather smell inside of it, and it killed all the leather smell. Apparently it sealed up the leather pores or something like that. Anyway, if you have a nice leather smell, you might not want to put 303 on your vinyl and leather, mostly on the leather. Okay, maybe just use it on the vinyl. All right, so that's a wrap. That's how you replace a speaker cover, speaker mesh screen cover. Give me a thumbs up or like if this helps you out. Subscribe to my channel if you want more from Froggy, and be safe, have fun. See you later, guys and gals. Froggy out. Bye.